Good evening, everybody, and welcome to probably the biggest possible Smackdown. They have jam-packed this with stars, heroes, and absolute action. They have given us match after match after match, the biggest stars that we could possibly get, and it is going to be so much adrenaline, so much rush. Okay, so no Roman. Okay, so no Sasha. Oh, no Naomi. Okay, No Charlotte. What? No? Oh, he left. Okay. Okay, they've got Ronda. They have definitely got Ronda. Okay. Randy? Okay, well, welcome to Smackdown, everybody. It may well suck, but we're prepared for that, and we're going to share our pain together. I will share your pain. I will probably cause you pain with some of the terrible jokes that I'm going to come out with, and my God, I will be coming out with them. So strap in, strap on, don't strap up. We are heading into WWE Smackdown. It is the 28th of May for me, the 27th of May for you good people in America, and we are ready for all-out war that may or may not happen. Welcome, everyone. I'm Tom Colohue, your host of the Colohue Watch-Alongs. This is, as always, Ask Me Anything. You can ask me whatever questions. If you're watching on Twitter, please remember to hit follow. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember to hit subscribe and like as well. A little thumbs up can make a massive difference. Who have we got so far? We have Sean Cena saying, hello, Master Colohue. I've been promoted. Also saying, I'm surprised they did the unification on SmackDown and not at the pay-per-view. You and me both, mate. You and me both. I did not see it coming on that one, but that is what we got. I was confident that the unification was going to happen. I had that news a while back, but I did expect it to be a bit of a bigger deal when it eventually happened. Welcome, Sean. Bailey also says, is Randy Orton's injury kayfabe? Yes, it is. Randy Orton is on a limited date contract. He takes strategic time off, and some quite considerable strategic time off that works well for him. This is part of that. He's never there 24/7. That's not Randy Orton's deal. I believe he works about 200 dates, most of which will be live dates, but if they need him to sell the live tickets, particularly with no Roman, we'll be seeing more of him at the live show, so less of him on Raw and SmackDown. Because he's been wrestling on Raw so much recently, SmackDown has been factored in. We are starting SmackDown, as always, with a very, very exciting recap of everything that we saw last week. They're trying to make it big, what happened last week, and to be honest, it should have been big. But it was sort of undermined completely by the news of the suspension for Sasha Banks and Naomi. That was not a good moment for anyone involved. Welcome, Megan, who says hello all. Hello to you too, Megan. Great to see you. How is our stat queen today? We also got to see a sustained beatdown at the end of last week's SmackDown. This is where the supposed injury to Randy Orton has come from. Matt Riddle now flies the RK Bro flag solo, and this should be leading directly to a match with Roman Reigns very, very soon. Sean says, Randy and all of the wrestlers deserve rest every once in a while. They can't wrestle 24/7. I completely agree. I think everyone in the WWE should be on a limited date contract, to be honest. I really do. You can still have them on TV every week. TV's one night a week. Pay-per-views aren't that big a deal either. You can get time off. They're showing replays of all the kids crying, which is just glorious. That's everything you want in wrestling. Megan is chanting Obi-Wan. I think you had some fun, didn't you, Megan? Haven't watched it yet. There is something else I need to watch first. Also, I recently finished watching Misfits. I didn't finish the whole show. I finished two and a bit seasons, but my God, did it get crap after 2 and a bit seasons. The Undisputed Bloodline is officially on top of the WWE. Undisputed, clap, 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 clap. I have not switched to multi-stream. How dare I? I do apologise. Someone7 says, hey Tom. Hello, Someone7. Simon says, jumping from TK to you again. No Randy, but Riddle is there, as is Kevin Owens. Cody vs. Seth Dark match, part 8,000. I would love to see Cody front of house today. Sai says, welcome to what's left of SmackDown. Our main event is Dana Brooke versus Commander Aziz in an Iron Man match. That could be fun though. As long as we have Sami Zayn, I'm pretty happy. And Simon says, remember when hashtag SmackDown was good back in 2016-2021, RIP. We and the crew got mentally beat down too last week as well. Yeah, I think everyone got a bit mentally beat down last week, unfortunately. If you are watching on YouTube, please remember to hit that like button. That little thumbs up can make a massive difference. It doesn't look like multi-stream is working now, so I've got to work that one out. You have to do it before you actually go live, but I can work it out. It should be an easy one. Megan says they dropped the episodes early. I'm glad I was awake to watch them. 4:45 this morning. Jesus Christ. 4:45. You poor thing. And Sean says, why do I think the Sasha and Naomi situation won't just be solved by a simple I'm sorry? Oh, it won't. It won't. They are as it sounds. It's not going to be a fun situation for anyone involved. It really isn't. Sean says, why do I think the Sasha and Naomi situation won't just be solved by simple I'm sorry? I've already read that one. Okay. The Usos are standing tall in the ring, holding up both sets of championships and basically just showing off at this point. Basically just showing off. No sign of Roman Reigns. This is the moment for Jimmy and Jay, and honestly, I can't blame them for that. They are talking up the kayfabe injury to Randy Orton. I'll be interested to see how that one plays out. I don't think... Strong boos from the crowd. Both men looking very proud of themselves. The Raw Championship's on the inside lane. Sean says Roman is not in the lineup that was released by Fightful. Well, we're really lacking in star power, aren't we? I'm confident that Hell in a Cell will feature a rematch for both sets of tag team championships. We will need Randy Orton back before we can get there. Megan says there's no way in hell the Naomi and Sasha situation are going to be sorted anytime soon. Hopefully it can be sorted before then for everyone's sake, but I don't really see it either. There are just no guarantees in wrestling at the minute. Big thanks to Roman at this point. I always like how the Usos don't come out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman belongs to Roman. Simon says, thank goodness AEW Dynamite airs over here right now. Saying it's much better and compelling episodic TV. I still watch a bit of SmackDown, but I appreciate you dropping into the watch along just in case something exciting happens. It's my face, all about my face. I did not realise it's 12 years. I will double check and make sure the microphone's coming through fine. Thank you for letting me know, Sean. Should be. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but let me just double check. Test, test. This should be terrible audio. Test, test. This should be a lot better. Okay, so let's check that. And Megan said, wedding without telling me there's a bunch of the roster in Mexico for Charlotte and Andrade's wedding. Very fair. I can see the audio freezing slightly. I'm going to keep trying to make that work. Hopefully it's not happening on both sides. I think frames are skipping. Hopefully not. Uh-oh. No, I don't want to do that. I pressed the wrong thing. Nearly lost my overlay. They're respecting the crowd and I'm suspicious of this. Bailey says, in addition to UFC, My guess is that WWE is still not happy with Allegiant Stadium over the problems they had at SummerSlam, and that is very much the case from what I can tell. Megan says 12 years for the Usos, coming up on 10 years for Roman as well. Very true. November 2012. This is a genuine promo. I kind of love it. I'm sure it'll all be turned around shortly, but I do kind of love it. Simon is asking if Dynamite beats SmackDown in the ratings in the UK. Not even close, mate. Not even close. The fans still showing respect. And a whole lot of it. That is a whole lot of love being shown right now. Ah, okay, I see where the issues are. I'm just trying to alleviate that. There it is. One guy just shouted out, "You suck!" And now they turn it around in the old Alexa Bliss style. Nothing particularly riveting here. It's exactly what we expected. They're literally just pointing at people now. I love everything that's happening right now. Everything. KJ says, I just turned it on. What is going on with these two? Well, briefly, humility, but it was always going to be the Alexa Bliss double play. Megan said, this week is actually the Usos' anniversary. Debuted on WWE TV on May 24th, 2010 with Tamina, Tagnati, Tyson Kidd, and David Hart Smith. Wow, blast from the past. They're reminding everyone about the crying kids. And Pat McAfee. Damn good promo, that. Probably more real than they will ever admit. Megan says AEW have such a crap deal in the UK. Started well, then nosedived so fast. Not wrong at all. By the way, did anyone see who turned up on Rampage earlier? It was hilarious. I do not recall. I haven't actually checked as of yet. Was it the Jeff Cobb one? I did see that someone posted something along the lines of, oh, I ran into Keith Lee and Samoa Joe. It was not Samoa Joe. That was awkward. Shinsuke Nakamura is out there. So what, Nakamura and Riddle against the Usos? I'll take it. That's a man in a banana costume, taking up a lot of screen. Sean says, apparently there was a plan to have Cody in 2K22. Didn't end up happening because the game got released before it happened. Sounds about right. Not a surprise to me. Nakamura trying to tease who it might be. It was obviously going to be Matt Riddle. It's not a surprise. Megan says, Cobb was on Dynamite. Someone turned up on Rampage earlier and it was bloody hilarious. Ooh, who'd you get? Who was it? Who was it, though? Who was it? Simon says, I read an interview last week where TK said that AEW is the #1 pro wrestling company in the UK with their ITV4 UK deal. Yep, he may think that. He is wrong. Good spot for Nakamura to be in right now. It does put him back in the picture. It's a slow build to something. I just don't necessarily know what that something is. Bailey says, SmackDown has become so dull, I'm leaving the sound down just listening to this feed. And when this was must-see watching every Friday, I do. The mighty have fallen when it comes to SmackDown. It is a real shame. The Usos knocked Riddle and Nakamura off the apron, now double teaming Matt Riddle. Not really working out for them. I'm expecting a commercial break any time now. Riddle thrown out again. Nakamura now taking an opportunity. Neither of them doing great. Kevin says, when is Sasha coming back? Sorry I didn't catch it when you talked about it. I'm at work. No worries, Kevin. Last information I got, the advertisement stating that they will be in attendance in late June, early July, are correct. They have been negotiating with the WWE about a return date. The WWE are confident they'll be back in time, well in time for SummerSlam, but may not make Money in the Bank. KJ says Riddle is over. Hopefully when they break him and Randy up, they keep Riddle as a face. It'll benefit him more in the long run. I don't disagree there. Randy Orton's a snake. We know Randy Orton's a snake. There's no point messing around and pretending Randy Orton isn't a snake. There's no point doing that at all. Of course, Megan says Gangrel came down to the ring with the Young Bucks, who were dressed as the Hardy Bros, used the Hardy's entrance music. No, good old New Brood with Brandon Cutler as Lita. Wow. Sean says, I also believe TK took a shot at WWE for moving Money in the Bank. Said he told Dana White about WWE. He did. KJ said, is that the Hell in a Cell cage in the air? I haven't seen it. I haven't spotted it. Could be fun, though. We're getting a recap of Ronda Rousey, Raquel Rodriguez. Looks like this might be the match that opens our show tonight. Now, if you remember in this match, Raquel Rodriguez destroyed Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey rolled her up and survived, because roll-ups are the most devastating move in wrestling right now. But Raquel Rodriguez destroyed Ronda Rousey. And taller than the other. Simon says, who do you think is a better wrestling promoter? Booker, owner, rank them, TK, Dixie Carter, Bischoff, Heyman. Heyman, TK, Bischoff, Dixie Carter. That was his whole deal. He had one great storyline, but that's it. I can't think of a second great storyline in WCW outside of NWO. All of the women are aligned backstage watching TV. I definitely see the ring getting rushed. Thank you, Sean. As soon as we get a commercial break, I'll go for it. Xia Li's undefeated? She hasn't wrestled. She's barely wrestled and you call her undefeated. As Bailey and Megan says, this is all they've got. I'm going to try something, Sean, once we get to the commercial break to work it out. I really hope Shayna just punches her in the face. Just be funny. Punch her in the face. No one was on Raquel's side anyway. You're not wrong, KJ. Shotzi still feels incredibly stunted and scripted. She feels wooden because her delivery is wooden. But hey, she makes it work. Justin says SmackDown Women's Division is awful. I struggle to disagree. I struggle to disagree on that one. We have ourselves a championship contenders match, and what I'm going to do, now that we have a commercial break, is try and get this working. So, where are you? There. Get rid of that. And hope that this kicks the memory into gear good enough that it's no longer massively behind. It's still slightly behind, but it's not massively behind now. Hopefully this catches it up. And we don't have that many problems, because if we go any further, I'm going to have to lose the streaming software. That's basically all I've got at this point going. Right, with that in mind, I'm going to make a slight change to how I'm watching. And swap my TV over as well. Instead of BT Sport on the PC, we're going to swap to BT Sport on the PS4. which rarely works, and we all know it rarely works, but for the audio, it is most important to just get the audio working, you know? KJ says, for those poking fun at the women's division, you'll got what you'll wanted. You want new women to be given a chance, and now they have literally no choice. That is a fair comment. That is definitely a fair comment, but there is a lack of people to really work with. The pad's plugged in, mate. I'm just going to turn that way down before we get to the Final Fantasy music. When I plug this in, it switched. Okay, so that's working. Noom says, why do I get the feeling that Shotzi's going to join the Judgment Day? You get that feeling because Edge told you that was going to happen. It's not going to happen. But yeah, your feeling is based on being told that that's going to happen. Feeling. Simon says the June 24th SmackDown in Texas is before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. If Sasha and Naomi return, they should in theory be added to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match for the added star power. That is a possibility, but not a guarantee. The WWE may try to drop them from the match anyway. Where is the wrestling? Jeez, it's not even given top billing anymore. That's not a good sign. Yes, KJ, we have a KO show tonight. Weird as that sounds. And yes, I'm a PS4 guy. Megan says, if it hadn't been for the fact she did a similar thing in NXT, I wouldn't have minded Xia Li joining Judgment Day. They may need to go that way. The WWE do tend to repeat themselves in storylines between NXT and the main roster. It's not the best system, but it is a system. We have hype for the handicap match. We have a contract signing for Hell in a Cell between Bobby Lashley, Omos and MVP. Sean says Alexa versus Nikki Cross wasn't that great this week. I'm surprised Sonya wasn't there. The gap between Alexa and Nikki Cross is pretty substantial right now. It was never going to be that good a match. I love how you got your announcer. Cody Rhodes respond to the vicious attack from Seth freaking Rollins. It adds another element to it. Bro Kimura is backstage being interviewed by Kayla Braxton. How would Randy feel about this? That's a good question. I can see a 6-man tag coming in our near future. Probably Sami Zayn and the Usos versus RK Bro and Nakamura. Riddle believes in he and Nakamura. And who am I to ruin that joy? Raquel Rodriguez during the entire commercial break was stood in the ring going, glad I brushed my teeth. She just does not. That is not a real cheer. There are people cheering. That is not a real cheer. That is piped in audio. There are people genuinely cheering. That's still piped in audio. Sean says, who do we all think is New Day's mystery partner? I think Drew McIntyre, and that's entirely because of Megan. Megan is the one who said it. Megan is the one who predicted it. Megan got all the hashtag scoops. It's all on Megan, and if it's not Megan, if it's not Drew, please blame Megan. We are once again watching all the women backstage. I said earlier I expect there's going to be a DQ finish here. Looks like that's the plan. Shotzi is dropping back just enough. Well, they've locked her in. You can lock the locker room from outside? That's weird. Megan says, clip of the books and Gangrel for anyone who wants to see. And KJ says, this match turns into some tag match, right? Would make sense. So logically, Natalya and Shayna versus Ronda and Raquel. And Raquel loses any possibility of a championship match. Makes sense. You ain't cursing no drinks, Megan. No. No. And John thinks we're building up to Shotzi Aaliyah. Probably, yeah. We would need like a big name in there to help put them over, but we don't have a big name, so we might as well. Quite possibly, Justin. It was supposed to be Asuka versus Becky one-on-one at Hell in a Cell. There was going to be 3 women's matches on the card. Wow. The match lasted all of a minute. The match lasted all of a minute. That, by the way, is a DQ win for Raquel Rodriguez, which should, logically, give her a championship match at the pay-per-view. I would love it if it was Tyler Breeze, Megan. That's a good cover. I respect that. KJ says those doors could be locked in and out, but only with a key. Not a typical door where it's a lock on it and you turn it. Indeed, I spotted that on the other side while Shotzi was desperately trying to open the door while also holding it closed. Note how she didn't actually try and pull it open. Had to keep it closed. KJ says Raquel gets her title match. Technically, yes. I don't think they're going to focus on that. I think we'll get the tag team match and that'll basically be it. But Raquel Rodriguez now has something to say next week when it comes to, yeah, but I did win. So, championship match, anyone? I feel that was a bit too predictable, though. It's exactly what I said earlier on today during spoiler warning. Justin says, are we just going to ignore the relationship with Ronda and Natty Shayna? I don't think we are. I think they will mention it. Pat McAfee certainly won't steer away from it. But I don't think they'll make a big deal of it. KJ says, are we going to see Ronda and Shayna face off? Probably yes. I think we'll probably get a pop from the crowd for that. If we don't get a pop from the crowd for it, then that's probably the end of that. Simon says, I was talking with a lot of the crew earlier tonight on Twitter. All very excitedly fantasy booking an AEW Sasha run. But great it would be, as in the WWE she's done everything. I mean, this time, 2 months ago, everyone was complaining that Sasha never got the big opportunities. So it's hard to say she's done everything when she hasn't had the big opportunities. Can't have both. Sean says, Duke Hudson beat Braun Breaker on NXT by DQ. Does Duke get a title match? Was it a championship contender match? If it was, he should. And KJ said they should have just thrown all of them into a battle royal and winner faces Ronda at Hell in a Cell. Maybe that's the plan next week. It sounds like panic booking. It really does sound like panic booking at the minute. Please do let me know if we're still having audio issues. I haven't spotted any further issues. Swapping over seems to have done the job, as it were. I may need to add a bit more RAM to the PC, though, which is an option. Like, there is plenty of slot. Oh, a gauntlet. The gauntlet could have been cool. They could have done a lot with a gauntlet match for the women's division. KJ says, I'll be stunned if Sasha goes to AEW to have a WWE or Hollywood for Sasha. I agree with that. I don't see Sasha going to AEW. I do think it will be a case of going off to film and the like. Megan says, I just checked the card for Double or Nothing. 13 matches. I'll be seeing sunrise and sunset by the end of this show. Probably, yeah. Yeah, like it only actually got dark during spoiler warning today. It would certainly be something new, Simon. I'd definitely give you that. So we are half an hour into SmackDown, and so far, decent opening promo. There was apparently a match, but you'd be hard-pressed to realise that. And yep, we're immediately in the tag match. Ronda Rousey's going to be playing the hot tag. Bailey says, what's the morale like for these women when they see these stories go nowhere? And the arena response is non-existent. That'll be a good question. And it'll be one of those where we have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But it's still... Many of the women right now are just really excited at the opportunities coming their way. Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi are quite happy with proceedings because they're being featured regularly. Xia Li, not so much to my knowledge. The big question for me is, how's Natalya feeling? Because Natalya is an important part of that locker room. Jermaine says Sasha and Naomi will not get buried when they come back because I believe in WWE's eyes they already punished them enough. They're looking at it as of now, it's time to come back to work. Let's see how it goes, shall we? Let's see how it goes. If there's not long left on their contracts, they either sign a new deal or they're 100% getting buried. That's just how it goes. Sean says, I just think Tony would use Sasha for her name, not for her talent. Possibly, but that doesn't mean she had to go there. You know, it's that good old-fashioned, you don't even go here. I'm going to move my camera slightly to the side because I'm sitting slightly to the side. It's debatable as to whether the leg is actually injured. Decent pop there, real one for Ronda Rousey as she gets the hot tag. She's in there with Natalya, no engagement so far with Shayna. But as I have said, Ronda wants to work with Shayna. She wants to make that happen. She may have pushed for this particular tag match. Ronda went way too easy into that sharpshooter. She's taken like one punch. She could do to fight a little further. For those currently watching on YouTube, please do remember to hit like. The little thumbs up can make a massive difference, and I would very much appreciate it. We're also looking for a few more subscribers, 2 more, just 2 more, and we go to 1.16k subscribers. Ronda Rousey is already tagged out when Shayna Baszler comes in. I can't recall Rodriguez versus Shayna Baszler previously, but certainly it's a good idea. Bailey says, any thoughts why the WWE added Jeff Jarrett? Maybe they should cut lotted with Laurinaitis as a sign for Sasha and Naomi to come back. WWE, to my knowledge, has no intention of going after John Laurinaitis and moving him on, as it were. That's to my knowledge. As regards Jeff Jarrett, they felt they needed to add someone. They've already added him previously and then fired him, so we'll see how that goes. But quite a few people who've been fired have been told we'll bring you back later in the year. Probably for cheaper. We did get a reaction from the crowd for Ronda and Shayna, but Natalya keeps that from happening. It was a good tease. Rodriguez with the finisher. And Shayna Baszler takes another loss. I'd be excited for Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler if Shayna Baszler had won a match in the last like 3 years. Ugh. So all in all so far I've had about 10 minutes of wrestling. It's not been good wrestling. I hate seeing Baszler take losses, but it's all that happens. Megan says, Raquel and Shayna have faced each other in a tag match before in NXT, when Shayna was tag team champion with Nia last March. They've had a couple of house show one-on-one matches recently, but they've not gone one-on-one on TV. Stat Queen in action. Beautiful. Thank you, Megan. They are announcing the change on TV to the MGM Grand. And hyping up Money in the Bank on July 2nd. Michael Cole is reading something and he doesn't seem happy about it. Pat McAfee, meanwhile, going a little bit crazy in a good way. Michael Cole genuinely does not look happy. The New Day, and I believe Megan Moran, I may be wrong there, I believe Megan Moran, are playing rock, paper, scissors. Megan Moran is slightly out of sync with the rest of them, bless her. Megan just pointing out that that is queen shit. On BT Sport, we're genuinely getting an advertisement including Susie Dent. If anyone doesn't know who Susie Dent is, she's a wordsmith. Probably the most famous wordsmith since Shakespeare. But still not someone anyone actually knows anything about. How is it BT Sport? I don't understand. SmackDown has not started well. I think that's the safest way to describe it. They've not started well. So that is one of only 2 announced matches so far. I'm excited to potentially see some more between Volta and Ricochet. That's an interesting angle at the moment. But there aren't many interesting angles going on. Now we're probably going to get that tag team match between the Usos and Nakamura Riddle. That's probably our main event. I'm okay with that. I think that's going to be a fantastic match. But it's the Usos who've been the glue for SmackDown for a while now. Simon says Dakota Kai was the HBK. Raquel the Kevin Nash Diesel. Imagine having Dakota Kai, the far bigger star pro wrestler of the Team Duo, getting rid of the far more talented than Dakota Kai keeping Raquel. Kevin Nash did get the push before Shawn Michaels did. I just want to point that out. Kevin Nash got the opportunities first. It might just be that. Sean says, I wonder how Zelina got injured. Must have been a live event or a house show. Apparently was it a live event. I don't have any further information on this one, but I'm interested to see what the injury was. Austin Welcome says he can tell they're saving Ronda Shayna for something big. I hope so. I hope so, because if you're going to build to that, let's have Shayna win a match. Just like win a match. In fact, I'm going to do a tweet on that. I'm going to do a tweet, guys. I'm going to do a tweet. I would care a lot more about Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler if Baszler could actually win matches. That's all I'm going to say. WWE and hashtag Smackdown. That's not hashtag Smackdown. I put a random S in there for some reason. Megan says Rampage started with a mint match with Bryan Danielson and Matt Sydal with Regal on commentary, which is always brilliant. Smackdown started with meh. Yep, no, that's fair. That's fair. This has been a slow start. I don't know how they're going to up the pace, to be honest. Sean's going to make a prediction. Gunther versus Ricochet at SummerSlam for the IC Championship. I think we're going to see that in Money in the Bank. I don't think it's going to take that long. I don't think we'll be in time for Hell in a Cell, but I think that's what we'll get at Money in the Bank. I mean, we need something from SmackDown side. I'm in the dark a little bit and I don't like it. Austin says, I know this SmackDown, but AW's put Chris Statlander in the shitter. Fans were all for her. Ruby got booed. I did see that, actually. I did see that. The fans are just not happy with how the tournament's actually going. Michael Cole is mentioning NFTs. I don't want a free NFT. Also, they just said scan the QR code on the screen. I didn't see a QR code on the screen. They are hyping up the 6-man tag. I am still expecting Drew. Megan says, I can't find exact details on the nature of the injury, but according to Peter Insider, she's had surgery and is expected to be back in a couple of months. Fair enough. My expectation is that this 6-man tag match will take place on the draw segment, which makes me even more confident it's going to be Drew. Simon says, Sasha's dream is to work Stardom in Japan. Once again, mate. Once again. She has been open about the fact she'd love to work in Japan, but she has many different places she wants to work. We can't really predict in that regard. Jermaine says, if you remember, it was because of those tag matches between Nia and Shayna versus Dakota and Raquel that WWE had to create their own women's tag titles for NXT because of the screw job ending. I did forget about that entirely, to be completely honest. Forgot about it entirely. I remember Max Moon. I don't know all of these names that they're saying. They are hyping up that their partner could be absolutely anybody. Kofi's been a real creep at this point. Stop pointing. Stop it. Stop it. Kofi, stop it. Wow. Sean says, Raw is in a town 70 miles away from me called Des Moines. I won't be going. Fair enough, mate, fair enough. Larry says they can sell NFTs of old wrestlers' names. Not sure what that means, but then I don't understand much these days. Just some idiots will pay a fortune. They will absolutely pay a fortune for nothing. NFTs ain't worth shit. Fact. We're getting a recap of Baron Corbin attacking Madcap Moss. I expect Madcap Moss to return shortly, and that match to be rematching on Hell in a Cell. Max Headroom indeed, Megan. Max Headroom. Okay, so Madcap is next week. He's returning next week to start the build. Jermaine says, this feels like a throwaway show. I'm sorry, but SmackDown feels like that to me. Don't need to be sorry, Jermaine. It does feel like a throwaway show. I completely agree. KJ says, did you guys see Breeze back on Up, Up, Down, Down? Haven't watched it yet, but I'm excited to. I've missed him. I've missed him so much. Los Lotharios are on their way down to the ring. Simon says, I'm glad they're probably saving Bayley for the women's Money in the Bank match. I get you. Oh, Justin says it's crazy how, in my opinion, 6 of the 7 biggest available women's stars are on Raw. I agree. If, for example, Alexa Bliss had gone to SmackDown, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We wouldn't. We'd be absolutely fine. They're looking for the kiss cam. Will we finally kiss a guy? Nope. Once again, they're going to the exact same place that they always do, where there is another random woman who's been signed by the company. Simon says, I'm glad they're probably saving Bayley for the Women's Money in the Bank match. Yep, absolutely. Bayley says, remember the John Cena NFT? How's that going? Badly. Very badly. Wow. Los Lotharios are taking on Jinder Mahal and Shanky. Wow. This is the best they can give us. This is the best SmackDown has to offer. Wow. Sean says, we'll see if the rumoured repackaging for Madcap is true next week. We will indeed. And Simon says, Drew in the New Day 6-man tag main event tonight. Well, I hope that's the case. KJ says, wonder would WWE consider signing guys to short-term deals or one-off appearances? No, they would not. Megan says, I did see a suggestion for who it might be that is unlikely, but would be insanely brilliant. Tyler Bate or Trent Seven, the ghosts of Pete Dunne's past. They are still very much in the UK, and I don't see them travelling to the main roster for a while yet. Simon says, Sasha got her NFTs going this week with Snoop and family. Maybe the only way she can make any money. We'll see if the WWE take that line down. Jermaine says, I'm sorry, Tom, but I don't think they're building towards anything between Ronda and Shayna, because Shayna has to start winning, and tonight was the night. I just don't see it. No, I agree with that, but they were intentionally teasing the match. That was very much intentional. Ronda wants to have the match. I'm confident it'll end up happening. KJ says, Jinder and Shanky, not what it says. Jinder and Shanky, damn. We need Hit Row. I miss Hit Row. You hurt me a little bit there, KJ. You hurt me a little bit, because I miss Hit Row. And KJ says there'll be a quick win for Los Lotharios. Probably. Are Los Lotharios are good guys now? Are they trying to rebuild the tag division? Because you ain't got no championships for them. What are you trying to do? Larry says people keep saying they want different matchups. True. That's true. But I'd rather see, for example, Los Lotharios versus Viking Raiders. You have the people. We can't drop to 2 teams in the lower mid card. You have to have someone a little bit more powerful. You have to. I do agree that we need different matchups. I think Ronda versus Raquel is worth it. It's worth it. One sec, I've lost track. Justin says, wonder who Bianca and Ronda will defend against at Money in the Bank. Not sure on this one. Ronda might not actually defend at the event at all. As regards Bianca, I think it'll probably be Asuka. Megan says, the Kiss Cam woman looks like she belongs in the baddie section rather than SmackDown. We'll take your word for that. Simon says, Tony Storm looks so happy in AEW. Must be the only Adam Cole fan pleased with his AEW run so far. Everyone else is complaining about it. I'm not complaining about it. I think he's happy, and I think he's having great wrestling matches. Jermaine says, hey Tom, so you're telling me Money in the Bank will be the first time the IC title will be defended at a pay-per-view premium live event since WrestleMania 37. Not telling you, I'm sharing my opinion. Just sharing my opinion on it. And ultimately, if not then, it'll be after, so I'd rather have that. KG says, why does SRS spoil the show and show plans and complain when it happens? Can't stand people like that. Why complain about something you know is going to happen and something you can't change? Can't really comment on the guy. Don't know him. And I'm okay with that. Sean says there was a package for a Giovanni Vinci. Do you think this is a new superstar that was signed, or is it a repackaging for someone? I have not seen that package. I'm still getting a BT Sport commercial. KJ says Los Lotharios are randomly on Raw versus Balor and AJ 2 weeks ago. Yeah, what is going on there? The brand split is very much still in play. Oh, good call, Megan. Giovanni Vinci, Fabian Aichner. Yeah, that could work. Maybe that's why they didn't call him up. They were separating him to be a single star. Maybe he'll be a male model. Maybe he'll be a male model. I still think Jinder's theme is a bit of a bop. But let's be blunt. Jinder Mahal and Shanky are just jobbers here. Where are they? They're apparently not. Backstage, Jinder can't find Shanky. Okay, so there's an actual storyline happening here. This is dumb. This is dumb. Is this supposed to get the guy over? Okay, I'm very happy with Los Lotharios here. I am enjoying what is happening right now. I enjoyed that part. Sean says, think we'll see Max Dupree tonight. Yes, I do. I think we'll see Max Dupree tonight. Megan says, don't remind me of the idiocy that LA Knight's name change. I'm still mad about it. And Bailey says that door opened up from the inside. It's almost as if Shanky wanted to be caught. To be blunt though, when they give you a dancing gimmick, your career is basically over. Simon says, when did Los Lotharios suddenly turn babyface? Did I miss something? I don't think they technically are babyface. I think they're undefined at this point. I think they're just leaving him to be whatever. Jinder Mahal's got a new haircut. He looks good. He looks good. Justin just says, this show is so weird. I agree. I agree. This is a strange one. We're nearly at the draw segment. I'll say thank God for Sami Zayn. I'll just leave it there. KJ says Shanky and Mahal had a rift after Shanky lost to Ricochet. Why would you break them up? Because if you do, probably both of them are getting fired, let's be honest. You ain't pushing either of them. Megan says, yes, I'm happy for the eye candy on my screen of LA Knight, but the name change is ridiculous. Yes, but the fact he's going into male modelling surely means you're going to get extra eye candy. Just a little bit extra. It's like a little bit extra, you know, like an extra button undone, one more gyrate with the hips, you know, good stuff. Good stuff. KJ says, and he's not wrong, Shanky is literally Carly, and we can't lie, Jinder's theme does bang. It bangs and it slaps. KJ says, well, Jinder and Shanky is on the face side. Face side of the ring, yeah, it's a fair point. Nobody's entirely sure what they are anymore, to be honest. Megan says, surely if Los Lotharios are trying to put the moves on Samantha, then Ricochet should be coming out. So here's the thing. You can sexy dance for someone without technically putting the moves on them. Sometimes you might just be wanting to make them smile. She didn't look comfortable. I'll say she didn't look comfortable, but she also didn't say no thank you. Jermaine says, I find it funny that Jinder and Shanky feels like a bunch of failures, whereas Veer feels like he is going to be a superstar. True. Veer's getting a proper good treatment at the moment. Angel Garza is showing off again. Shanky looks like he's ready to take the opportunity, or he's going to dance with him. What is Shanky doing? Probably shouldn't. Shanky's taking his eyes off the ball. And Jinder is easy pickings. Okay, so what I want to say is that there is some storyline advancement there. It's not the most entertaining, but it is storyline advancement. The match, though, once again, over in a very, very short period of time. Simon says, now they're down Queen Zelina and Carmella, they don't really have any women's tag teams left at all. Pretty much, nope. Justin says, might be in the minority here, but I thought Mahal's title run was decent. I think he should be in the IC title picture. I think that's a possibility. I wouldn't be angry at that. But once again, I'd like him to win a match first. You know, win a match. Justin thinks the show is going off the rails. I don't think it's off the rails. I just don't think it's very entertaining. Shanky wants him to talk to the hand. And Jinder is walking away. KJ says the crowd is popping a little bit. I mean, the crowd are literally chanting for Shanky. And now Shanky's pointing at Samantha Irvin. Why? I wonder if they told her she was going to be part of the storyline. Yes, because she's bopping a little bit for Shanky. I think Shanky's turning face, guys. I'm not ready for it. Larry says, out of the Indian wrestlers, Sangha from NXT looks by far the most impressive. Max Dupree is backstage with a couple of buttons undone. What'd I say? He's leaning in very close. Very close. Like, just kiss. Just kiss. I mean, you're right there. Just kiss. Simon says, Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade gives me a great feeling they're both going to be future megastars for the WWE. I agree. I also thought that about Dakota Kai. Okay. Max Dupree is officially a Smackdown. Max Dupree has just confirmed that he does not currently have any clients. I could swear they were going to kiss. Surely if he's looking for male models, it has to be Finn Balor. Kevin Owens is our draw segment. Of course he is. King's Andy says, hey Tom, just wondering what's the update on Sasha and Naomi. I did provide a full update on... He looks very happy to be back. A full update on spoiler warning earlier today, but to quickly recap, Sasha and Naomi have been speaking to the WWE about making a return within the next 2 months or so. And the WWE are putting plans in place. Okay, so a special guest is apparently member of the Bloodline. I'd imagine this is a tease to say, oh, you'll get Roman if you stay tuned. It's going to be Paul Heyman, clearly. It's going to be Sami Zayn. I said it earlier and I stand by it. It's going to be Sami Zayn. I'm tweeting that. It's totally going to be... Nope, I spelled something wrong. It's going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn reuniting. Isn't it? Now, I'm making a prediction here, but you'd be amazed how you're not allowed to make predictions anymore because someone leaks what happens on SmackDown, and if everyone doesn't pay and read it, they're considered morons by some people. Simon says, never forget Justin, don't hinder the Jinder. Well, that just happened. Jinder was hindered. We stood by and we let it happen. Mega says it's not so much off the rails as nowhere sodding near them. Simon's also a Jinder fan. Sean says IGN posted there may be a Winnie the Pooh horror movie What is Winnie going to do? Kill people with honey? Very possibly. Winnie the Pooh is now open source. So it's public access. If you want to write something about Winnie the Pooh, you can. And I'm going to be blunt here. I'm expecting a lot of Winnie the Pooh porn to start turning up. And I don't feel comfortable with that. But I do think it's going to end up happening. KJ says Shanky is over and Great Khali is back. And Justin says, what is wrong with this show? Lack of star power, lack of decent writing. Nothing to look forward to, basically. KJ says, piped booze for Dupree. No, they were real. They were real. Megan says, thank the gods for Kevin Owens. Billy says, I met Max once in LA. Oh, show off. Simon says, Justin, probably because there's no Sasha, Naomi, Roman, Charlotte, Brock, all the massive stars are gone. They are, but I still think we need to point out that the writing ain't exactly great right now. Megan says, I should not find LA Knight getting lawsuit-inducingly close to Adam Pearce attractive, but damn it, I do. I mean, I definitely don't. Don't know what you're talking about. I definitely don't. Nope. I wasn't encouraging them to kiss. Nope, you were. Liar. Didn't say anything. My BT Sport was already crashed again. I say already crashed. That's the first time in like an hour. That's not bad for my BT Sport. Let's rebuild that. KJ says KO and Roman should run it back one more time. Had great matches at crazy spots but no fans. TLC match, Last Man Standing, and Steel Cage. The Last Man Standing was glorious. Absolutely glorious. Right, let's get back to Friday Night SmackDown. Sean says, I'd like to see Alexa on SmackDown but keep her away from Ronda. She definitely would be kept away from Ronda. I'd like to see maybe Alexa versus Shotzi. I think that'd be a good way to build up Shotzi. Alexa versus Xia Li. There's stories there. There's people there, and I wouldn't mind it. And Megan says, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is a real movie in production. Wow. 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 Ugh. KJ says, Miz Ziggler, Ember and Natty on MasterChef Junior. Interesting. I would like to check that out. I can't think of anyone who I know is a really good cook in the WWE. I can't think of many people who actually invest much time in food. I know Sheamus makes a really good pie. Like a shepherd's pie. He's good at that. Okay, we are halfway through SmackDown. Kevin Owens is in the ring, ready for a member of the Bloodline. Very confident it's Sami Zayn. And to be honest, I have no issue with it. I just want to be clear. I have absolutely no issue with that happening. I want that reunion, and I think the crowd are going to pop for it. Sean, don't ruin the moment. You can't tell people about that. Well, it'll be another moment because BT Sport has already gone again. Wonderfully. Just wonderful. Just what I wanted. For those who don't know, I will not be doing a spoiler warning Sunday night. I do have other plans on Sunday. And what I will be doing is I will be doing the gaming stream at 1 PM UK time. That is 8 AM Eastern time. That will be a continuation of The Last of Us Part 2. We are halfway through day 1 in Seattle. We are live again. Megan says, oh no, a Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn segment, whatever will we do? It's horrible, isn't it? So horrible. Sami Zayn has been the saviour of SmackDown for a while. I have no issue with it. See, the reason we're seeing so many Raw talent on SmackDown is because they don't have anyone else on SmackDown. They have no people. Raw has to drag them out of the mire. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. Who's it going to be? It's Sami Zayn. KJ says 4 matches at Hell in a Cell, only 2 they most care for. They sold out. But I was told they couldn't make it without Roman and Banks. I don't know who told you that, but it definitely wasn't the truth. Wasn't the truth? Wasn't the truth. Sami Zayn in a Bloodline t-shirt still slaps for me. I'll happily take that. The boo is too consistent. They are piping in audio today. I'm not entirely comfortable with it. Sami Zayn being called a stooge and a rat. Oh, they're hugging. So romantic. I love their friendship. They're just catching up. They're just going to catch up. Sean says, why do I have a feeling this is going to end with Roman getting annoyed by Sami and smashing him? What they're doing right now is Roman is building new storylines with people on SmackDown. Nakamura and Sami Zayn. These stories are being built even while the story with Matt Riddle is being built. The story of Randy Orton is being built. And of course we still have Drew McIntyre in the background. Roman has opponents again. So I'll happily take it. Sami Zayn thinks Elias and Ezekiel are the same person. Oh, that is so sweet. That is really nice. Oh, it's so emotional. I love this. Go says, hi Tom and chat. Hope I didn't miss much. Congrats to Charlotte and Andrade, who did get married today, by the way. Congrats indeed to both. Fair enough, Austin. Tomorrow would be the Saturday. We don't have a Saturday show this week. And I'm very sorry to hear that. Kevin Owens is trying to borrow a Sami Zayn. I don't think he's into it. We currently have 12 people watching on YouTube, but only 3 likes. If you are watching, please do remember to hit the like button. I really would appreciate it. It really helps us grow as we are trying to get 2 more subscribers so we can get to the 1.16k in the list there. Every like helps, so please do consider it. Simon says, I think if, for example, Roxanne Perez went up now on Theory to the SmackDown Women's Division, she would be the biggest standout star there, bar Ronda, Shayna, Natty, obviously. It's quite a list down, but she would certainly make a big impact. I think Rodriguez is the biggest one at the moment. Thank you, Useless. I appreciate that. This was, of course, designed by Sai, and I really like it. There's still a couple of more ideas I'm going to play with, but it's a good start. I'm starting to feel like this is going to come down to a wrestling match. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. KJ says, any idea who joins Max Dupree's faction? I'm waiting for more information on it, but I do feel it's going to be the same people he already had. Mansoor works as a male model. Absolutely works. Under his breath, Sami Zayn calling Kevin Owens a moron. Bailey says, these two could host a podcast someday. I absolutely think they will. Absolutely think they will. Sami Zayn now believes that Elias and Ezekiel are different people. Sean, absolutely, I agree. And I do think that this is finally the time that the United States does something about this and tries to actually protect kids instead of basically just banning abortion so that they can replace the ones that they are allowing to get killed. Ted Cruz, what a dick. Simon says, fun fact, Asuka has main evented Raw 4 weeks in a row. It's a pretty good fun fact. Asuka being pushed hard since her return. Megan says, I've just seen a couple of clips from Charlotte and Andrade's wedding. They look so happy. It's lovely. They are very happy together to my knowledge. And there were rumours recently that they'd broken up. None of them were true. Not even slightly. Owens is at this point embarrassing Sami Zayn. And doing a very good job of it. Honestly, I'd kind of like the Usos to come down at this point. Sean says, would you say Alexa is being pushed since her return? Yes. It's not a strong push, but she is being featured. She's winning wrestling matches. She does have a storyline. That's a push. Sami's going to punch him. Okay, no, Sami's going. Sami's showing some guts. He's suddenly a much more relatable person. I kind of respect Sami Zayn. Megan says, you'd hope this would be the case for gun reform, but nope. America looks content to be some weird hybrid Black Mirror Handmaid's Tale come to life. Yeah, pretty much. Owens is attacking the people who were trying to put away the signs. They were just trying to take down the signage ready for the next segment, and Owens is just not happy. Both took the stunner very well, though. Got to give credit where it's due. Kevin Owens is walking away, having left some carnage. Brawling Bruise is much worse than Fight Night. Fight Night is the right call. So, I felt bad for Sami there. I could cheer this man. Easily. The main event's nice and all, and it's good for Butch. But we didn't get here wonderfully, did we? Sean says, I wonder if Braun was at Charlotte's wedding in pink Crocs like it was at Alexa's wedding. He was not. They were not close. So honestly, I was surprised Charlotte wasn't at Alexa's wedding. Those two are actually really close. KJ says Vince should take notes. The sixth man is now our main event. Nope. Nope, because it does look like we're getting Riddle and Nakamura versus the Usos at some point tonight. That's at least what I thought was going to happen. They're just continuing to hype it up. I think they're just hyping up Drew's return, let's be honest. Trying to make it as big a deal as possible. Trying to get his heat back from losing to Roman the way he did. Ow. Apologies, guys. I have a really itchy nose all of a sudden and I don't know why. Also, guys, do I talk way too fast? I listened to my show earlier and I just felt like I was talking way too fast. Like, do I talk way too fast? Larry says that was quite emotional. Poor Sami. Poor Sami is true. Absolutely true. Ricochet. With his not the same music. I miss Ricochet's theme more than anybody's. Drew Gulak in his corner. I respect that. The tag match. Oof. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate that. Okay, this is a decent way to build. We'll finally get to see Marcel Bartel in action. It's overdue. Drew Gulak used to be all about no flips. Never going off the top rope, and here we are. Here we are. Sean says NXT is touring again. Do you see them leaving the Florida area? They're not going to leave the Florida area. No, they're not touring that big to my knowledge. Megan says, the one and only was fire, and I stand by that 100%. Me too. Me too. Although KJ doesn't hate it where it is at the moment. Marcel Bartel does indeed get to wrestle. And thank you, Ha, for letting me know that you don't think I talk too fast. I appreciate that. Yeah. They are hyping up their Hell in a Cell match between Cody and Seth, which, let's be honest, that's probably going to be our main event. I was hoping it'd be a tag match, but no, that's probably going to be our main event. Right, what am I actually saying? I miss Ricochet's theme more than anybody's. Stone cold banger. That's all I want to say. Simon says, can we talk about Bex's outfit this week on Raw? What was she wearing? Well, I did say a while back, while she was still on her sabbatical, that she was basically dressing Seth. Now, that was questioned at the time, but it was certainly confirmed and proven. The more you see of her, the more you know that she was dressing Seth that whole damn time. Well, thank you, Larry. That's beautiful. Thank you kindly. KJ says, Gunter doesn't lose, right? Gulak gets pinned. Gulak gets pinned, yeah. That's what he's there for. He's technically getting a push because he's on TV more, but he is basically just there to lose matches. It's not bad because he's on TV. That's a positive. KJ says, do you think it would have been possible that Banks and versus Ronda could have main evented Hell in a Cell? I know it'll be tough with Cody and Rollins. No. Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks would not have main evented Hell in a Cell. It would probably have been the first match, though. Megan says, Becky and Seth are both styled by the same person, King Troy, but it's clear Becky is the one with the final say. The amount of times the two of them have just sat, sharing a phone and scrolling. It sounds really cute, though. Like, it genuinely sounds adorable. That's couple goals right there. Just trying to find the worst possible outfit to wear for Raw and SmackDown. I miss both of them on SmackDown. I miss Seth more because he was there longer. But I do miss both of them on SmackDown. Seth just missed a Monday Night Raw. It's Monday Night Rollins, isn't it? He ain't ever going nowhere. $50 minutes left. And it's tag team crazy this week. We had Los Lotharios versus Jinder Mahal and Shanky. We had Shayna Baszler and Natalya versus Ronda Rousey and Raquel Rodriguez. Have we had a singles match? Like, genuinely, have we had a singles match? I know that technically we had Ronda versus Raquel, but also technically we didn't. It sure feels like it's just more tag matches. Because right now it's Ricochet and Gulak versus Imperium. And then it's going to be a 6-man tag. Sean said, this is a question I've been wanting to ask for a long time. Do the wrestlers have pull backstage, and do you think there is nepotism? Certain wrestlers have pull if you have the confidence to go directly to Vince McMahon. As regards nepotism, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I did see that, Austin. Brandy Rhodes teased the fact that her child was in the wrestling ring running around. So it actually was. Megan says, no all tag tonight. Yeah, pretty much. I know, Simon, you would much rather see Sasha on, but you can't let it get you down this badly, mate. It's a TV show. Calm down. We're getting a recap of Gulak being thrown into a door. Oh, and getting slapped. I don't think you can even legally call it a chop. The push for Gunter is real. And you can tell they're all in on this guy. This isn't the strongest push out of the gate, but you don't need the strongest push out of the gate. It's a decent build. It's developing him really well, and it's introducing us to the man. Sean says, my guess is the big names have pull, like Roman, Miz, Becky, etc. Yeah. Also, Xavier Woods has amazing pull. But they never have the final decision. No one in the WWE has creative control. Well, it's like no one in AEW has creative control. I feel Ludwig Kaiser is getting more and more American with each passing week. Megan says, Libby Rhodes versus Rue Lynch Rollins, main event of WrestleMania 60. I believe it's Rue Lopez, but I don't know. I like anyone with a herald. Anyone who's able to have someone formally introduce them is someone after my own heart. The music's terrible compared to what it was. I am slowly getting used to it, but I still can't say I'm particularly happy about it. Lovely men, by the way. I know I've mentioned it a few times, but I like the guy who has a sign that has the name Volta and just scribbled out and put Gunter over it. That's a top quality sign. Libby Runnels and Rue Lopez. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Although they would definitely use the names of the wrestlers though, wouldn't they? They'd have to go by the ring names. They could merge them, so it could be lynchings. No, that's probably bad. Raunch? No, that's also bad. That's been mentioned as an idea for a few times now, Sean. I'd be interested to see if either of them actually go into wrestling. I'm not sure they will. Ludwig is starting in the ring. And I promise you, he will take the opportunity to show off. And he's got the right opponent in Drew Gulak. He can go amateur. They can make this work very nicely. Bailey says, I'm assuming WWE does not own the name Cody Rhodes because big enough that he didn't change his name. Nope, they do not own the name Cody Rhodes, and yes, they didn't change his name. They wanted the Cody Rhodes brand, so they had to bring the name with it. There was a huge lawsuit and a fight for Cody to actually own the name Cody Rhodes. He wasn't allowed to go by Cody Rhodes for a long time. When he eventually got the rights to it, he was not letting it go. Gunter is in the ring, tossing Gulak out. And it looks like we are already going into commercial break. Megan says that's one hell of a long-term story, and a rivalry started before both Birdie and Monroe were even born, that they are continuing. Well, to be fair, as we know for a fact, The Miz is it, you know? They're the it couple, they have the it child, they invented the it kicks, and plenty of other things as well, like The Miz is the guy. KG says, Tom, any reason why Fabian got left in NXT? It looks like they're rebranding him. Which, to be fair, the suggestion seems to be that he'll do well as a singles wrestler. If that's the case, then he's going to get the Veer treatment, and I'll take it. Billy says, who among the current roster can use their own name? Very, very few people. Very few people. Cody's one of very few. Sean says, do you think there's any interest in Nixon Newell by any companies? Sadly, no, I don't, because I think we'd have seen her already. I don't think she's going to return to wrestling. I don't like that, but I don't think she's going to return to wrestling. There are quite a few people who've been released by the WWE who I think are just done. I genuinely think they're just tired of the whole thing. They've been beaten and bruised, they've been battered from pillar to post. I just don't think they can summon the fight anymore. Quite a few people who came in at certain times, John Cena, certainly Randy Orton, as you mentioned there, KJ, they have the names, Brock Lesnar. But the WWE got out of the practice after a little while, during the Ruthless Aggression era, to my knowledge. Megan says, Ludwig looks like he was carved from marble, given a spray tan and gear, and sent to the ring. How? That seems almost unfair. Seems so, doesn't it? Seems so. I mean, the abs on that man are very impressive. I think we've finally got someone who can give Finn Balor a run for his money. Sean says, possible Johnny and Candice are done with wrestling? No. Blunt, that is not possible. Bailey says, agree on Nixon Newell. Either she drops down to the low minor leagues like Kylie Ray, or she heads to a Twitch channel. I could see her on Twitch, and I think she has enough of a following that she'd do well with it. But the longer she takes before doing that, the harder it's going to be to immediately strike up a following. Wolfgamer says, hello there. Hello, Wolfgamer. How are you? Twitch channels are becoming more and more popular amongst wrestlers. Basically, if you have the following, you can take it online. You can have a YouTube channel. You can have a Twitch channel. You can make it work. And that's something that a lot of people are realizing. I'm trying to build a following like that. And honestly, I'm trying to build a following so that I can give it to the kids. You know? Nowadays, you can genuinely not worry so much about building a fortune. Build a following instead. If you can build a good following, that is a pension. That's what you can leave to someone. If I build my YouTube channels up enough that I can then pass them on to someone else. Imagine, for example, I do this for 10 years and then I say, Ed, take over for me. Here's the keys to the business. It's something very, very valuable. You can sell a YouTube channel and earn quite a lot of money with it. So when it comes to a wrestler, jump on Twitch, go crazy, do it. Secure your future. Wolfgamer says, besides accidentally hurting myself at work, I'm pretty good. How did you hurt yourself, mate? What happened? Megan says, I'm trying, but I'm devoid of a personality, so it's a little harder. That ain't true. I've been on your shows. That ain't true. What you're devoid of at the moment, unfortunately, Megan, is just a bit of confidence. That comes with time. You are much further along in that regard than you were when you started, and you know that. Hector says, speaking on Fabian Aichner, there were vignettes on the most recent NXT 2.0 for a character named Giovanni Vinci, which appears to be the former. Indeed. So it was a repackaging. He may well be the one to beat Bron Breakker. Marcel Bartel with the sell. Ricochet looks like he might be finishing this. No, Ludwig escapes. We have 12 people watching right now on YouTube, but only 4 likes. If you can, please remember to hit the thumbs up button. It really does help the growth of the channel as we try to get to the next stage, as it were, which is 1,160 subscribers. Dimitar is here, says hi Tom. Hello Dimitar, great to see you, mate. And Simon says, the more I watch Liv, she impresses me so much as an in-ring performer, slowly becoming one of the best in the world. May have been a while to wait there, but we'll see how it goes. Megan says, I've been waiting 34 years for confidence, that's long enough. To be fair, I only started really building my confidence when I was 31. It's never too late. Drew Gulak takes the pin, and he takes it from Marcel Bartel rather than Gunter. This was a very good night for Marcel Bartel, even if it's not necessarily what he was hoping for. Thank you, Frank, I appreciate that. Every thumbs up does go a long way. Every like can make a massive difference. And we are growing pretty well right now. Also, how you doing, Frank, mate? Welcome. Are you enjoying SmackDown? I think I know the answer. But by all means jump in and join the chat. Dimitar says, how's your day? Wanted to ask if there is any update on Sasha or Naomi. The only update I had was in spoiler warning earlier today, so in the first 3 or 4 minutes. So by all means, just check into that after the show. Sean says, could WWE have Roddy Strong beat Braun for the belt so they can convince him to stay? I found that very, very unlikely. I've been saying it for a while. My expectation is very much that Roderick Strong will be joining AEW, and we will see a reunited, undisputed era on the other side. Sami Zayn is backstage defending himself against the Bloodline. Sami wants to walk away. I don't think the Usos are going to let that happen. Usos have no answer. Brief laugh there at Sammy. That was rude. I don't think Sammy's asking a lot. Honorary Uce is a good line. They humoured him there. They very much just humoured him, but they kept him on side. Keeping him on side is basically all they need from him at the moment. But that's going to take him down a dark path, and he just hasn't realised it yet. Wolfgamer says, was getting a cup of chocolate ice cream, which was at the bottom. Moved the other boxes, reached in to get the cup, and I guess when I went to pull my hand out, I ripped the skin off the back of my index finger. I've been there, mate. I have a scar here because I was trying to pick a razor out of a bag and it just completely shaved my finger. They are really sticking with the Brawling Brutes when they had the name Fight Night. Yep, they're sticking with the Brawling Brutes. That sucks. I appreciate that, Frank. Appreciate you dropping in. Megan said, I was complimented by a tailor who looked like Ben Wishaw's Q. That did give me a little boost. Jamie didn't last. Every little helps, mate. Every little helps. Sean said, is there an update on Moxley? No update that I'm aware of at all. Dimasal says, is it uploaded now? Can't see the vid on your channel. Okay, let me grab the tweet. Because I did tweet it out, and that's the quickest way to find the link. Let me just grab it. Here we go, copy link. And I'm just going to post that in the YouTube chat. Now I'm going to post it ultimately. I'll see if they'll let me post it actually, because I'm currently logged in there as Colohue Gaming. Yeah, they'll let me post it. So that's a link to the tweet, which will take you directly to the video. Sometimes it takes a little while to process, so it's not automatically there. Sean says, like how Kevin was an honorary member of the New Day's Big O. Big O was a big deal. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Hector says, Tom, what do you think honestly happened with Volta to go from absolutely not wanting to be in the US to being on TV every week in the US? Time. I think he just gave it time. And I think there was nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just have to consider your options. You may change your mind in time, and I think that's all that happened. He just changed his mind. Simon says, may God have mercy on Ric Flair's body in his last ever match. Protect him. The crazy old man wants to come off the top rope. I kind of agree with you there. Megan says, Fight Night's a good name. I agree. I completely agree. It's not what we ended up with. And KJ says, give us Sheamus' old theme, Lobsterhead. Was it called Lobsterhead? I don't think it was. And Dimitar says, thank you. And Someone7 just shouts, Butch! We are all Butch in our own special way. That's all I really want to say. We are all, in our own special way, Butch. You know? You get me? You get me. So I'm going to tweet it. Just going to say, Fight Night was a much better name than Brawling Brutes. I like to tweet every now and then. Remind people that I actually exist. So we are heading into our main event with a half hour still to go. It shows just how empty this show is. It's not that there's something missing, it's that there's everything missing. Everything is missing. Megan, I don't actually think I'm a verified account. I need to look into that because I don't think I'd be able to chat if that's the case. And I know I've chatted before, so when did you make that change? Was it KJ? Wolfgamer says, ended up forgetting about the injury, put my hurt hand in a bucket of sanitizer. Was a moment made. Not the strongest decision you ever made. For those who don't know, by the by, Megan is a gaming streamer here on Twitch. If you'd like to check out her work, just click on her name and you can go follow. She's currently getting closer to that average viewership of 3. That's the mission. And anything we can do to help, I certainly will. So we're going to get at least 2 commercial breaks during this main event. That said, I do think we're going to get a long introduction to the return of Drew McIntyre. A long introduction and look how big a deal they are. But I don't think they're necessarily all going to move on. That's fair enough, Megan. I completely respect your reasoning. Completely respect that. Whatever you can do to stop that from happening. I've been very lucky. And also I'm one of those people, like, if that happened, I just take the average viewership and just kind of enjoy it. But I do very different content. Very different content. We're mentioning Lacey Evans on SmackDown. If they're going to mention Sasha and Naomi, this will be when they do it. They're instead talking Memorial Day. Okay. Fair enough, Megan. I should look into it. Sean says, who do you think Lacey will face in her return match on Raw? I have no idea. When it comes to Lacey, SmackDown really could have used her right now. Like, really could have used her. I suspect Raquel Rodriguez is getting the Lacey Evans push. As in, they're literally just, they slotted her into the exact same role. To be clear, they're showing us something about Memorial Day. They're using Lacey Evans. This is not a heel. This is not a heel. Hector says, I really hope the AJ Finn team sticks long term. Love to see him move to SmackDown and face the Usos. I mean, SmackDown Live is the house that AJ Styles built. AJ Styles never feels like a big deal on Raw. It doesn't. Just doesn't. KJ says, just realised that Lacey will re-debut on Memorial Day. This woman is not a heel. I don't understand what they're doing. Everything's perfectly in place to get her cheered and get people chanting USA, USA, USA. And they're just going to go ahead and not do it? It's just wrong. Thank you, Megan. I didn't realise how close it was. A few days? Oh, I'm convinced. I love that show, and I'm very much looking forward to watching it. I know that, Bailey. I know that, Bailey. I'm not saying she is herself dead. Just wanted to be clear on that. Tenfold says, Tom, quite a few heels do get endorsement. True, I mean, kind of happened with Sami Zayn earlier today. I get what you're saying. I'd imagine we'll get a very similar, if not the same video on Monday Night Raw. I do respect that on big days for the US, the WWE does show its respect. It's right. Sean says, I think Lacey may face a heel at lower on the card or maybe an enhancement talent. Possibly, but that would be a face move. It's always important to remember your history so that you won't repeat it. Of course, that's not always the case in the United States. I do feel they could do better in that regard. They caught someone on camera crying. Well done to their scouts. They've gone straight back into the Fight Night music. That's a surprise to me. Hector says SmackDown is really lacking depth if they're running a Memorial Day vignette instead of matches. They would always run a Memorial Day vignette, to be fair. Sheamus is now cutting a promo. The match ain't going to start before we get another commercial break, is it? Megan says it's next Friday, so we have the long weekend to watch it all. I mean, celebrate the long and prosperous reign of our beloved Queen Elizabeth II. I'm so excited for a 4-day weekend. So excited. Simon says, Double or Nothing on Sunday has 13 matches. Yep, it's going to be a real long night. People say WWE is bloated, and it is. AEW now 13 matches. They've got a lot of people who need the airtime, to be fair. Larry says, speak English in a strange, unidentifiable foreign accent. Throw in the odd foreign sounding made-up words while doing jigsaw puzzle. Every time you find an edge piece, shout Glockenspiel. That's guaranteed viewers. Larry. Yes. Why have I been wasting my time not doing that? KJ says, a storm just broke out. His house always blacks out. Hopefully I get to see this pop of the mystery partner. It'll be a big pop. Where'd you hear that one, 10 foot? Where'd you hear that one from? What's your source? Sean says, saw something from SK. Said Ridge Holland is one of the people Max Dupree could manage. I don't want to break up Fight Night. I don't see it. KJ says Cesaro could have been a good piece on SmackDown. Imagine him in Fight Night or Imperium. Could have gotten Ricochet's push. I think he's one of the top guys on SmackDown because everybody left. Wrestling Hub is not a source, 10 foot. Absolutely not. Megan said it's so stacked on Sunday that Hookhausen is on the pre-show / buy-in. And KJ says, will not push just the IC title. He could have had the IC title, but I would still take Sheamus versus Gunter, let's be honest. I'd be very happy with that. Xavier goes, who is this dick? Hector says, I'm so glad Sheamus' neck injury didn't end his career. Quietly been one of the best WWE products they've had in a while. He's been around for a while, has continued to do good work. He has. And I feel he's doing great work right now. A large part of that is that he doesn't wrestle every night. He's being protected. Megan says, Cesaro and Imperium, that would have been so good. It would. I like that they just suggested Scott Steiner, which is of course a suggestion that it might be Bron Breakker. Xavier probably shouldn't remind people of his colourful past. Justin says Belair versus Ripley is probably the SummerSlam match. I think that's very possible, yes. Yeah, KG, if they just throw in Volta, I'm just being very happy. John says if Paige could wrestle right now, she would be a great addition to SmackDown. She'd be a great addition anywhere if she could wrestle. Pat McAfee, beautifully done. Guys, Megan was right. It is the Big D. Megan knew the Big D was coming. This is how they will regain his heat from his loss to Roman Reigns, by giving him as far away from Roman Reigns as possible. Sheamus does not look happy, and I like that. Absolutely, Larry. All day, Butchie Scrappy Doo. KJ says last time New Day did this, it was the Hardys. It was. I think the fans knew ahead of time on this one as well. Like, they thought so on the Hardys, but they didn't know. Now, of course, if all you want is spoilers, you can pay for all the information. But we are where we are. Sean says, props to the Stat Queen, all hail. KJ says, WWE watches Megan. And 10 Foot says, I think they are saving Ripley for now. I don't think we're going straight to Ripley versus Belair, but there is a match that's definitely happening between them. KJ wants Sheamus versus Butch. Don't want it yet, tell you that. Don't want it yet. I think it could definitely work out, but I don't want it yet. And we have somehow wasted 10 minutes. We've killed 10 whole minutes there. The match will still only end up being about 16 minutes long. Sean says, when do you see Alexa versus Bianca happening? Personally, I think that's more likely to be the SummerSlam match, personally. I like that they did have a 6-man tag graphic ready already, featuring Drew McIntyre. Drew versus Butch will be fun, KJ. I think Pete Dunne could take Drew down and actually make a really good match out of it. He can wrestle from the bottom very easily. Megan said, if WWE watches me, then my average viewers should be a lot higher than they are. We're all got to start somewhere, mate. We're all got to start somewhere. And I think you're doing a pretty good job, to be honest. I was able to get to monetization within a month because I already had a pretty consistent following. I'd already been doing shows for a while on YouTube. Moving over to Twitch was just a case of moving the 15, 16 people who were regulars there, and the average viewership was pretty good from there. Megan says, but what a shock. I knew when the Scotsman and his shiny sword would be appearing. Megan, you track the movements of Big D. That's your thing. I get that, and I respect that. Demental says, what is the main event? This match, the 6-man tag. New Day and Drew McIntyre versus Fight Night. And I will continue to call them Fight Night. John says, 4:30 start for Money in the Bank. So weird. Interesting. I did not spot that. Hector says, Tom, do you honestly think we will ever see Drew McIntyre come out of Broken Dreams ever again? Because honestly, I know he's been open about possibly using it. I don't. I do not believe that is ever going to happen again. The WWE like the music that he has at the moment. It may come up in a contract negotiation, but I don't think he actually cares that much. KJ says, I'm happy WWE is making more factions. It's a good way to get more guys on TV and involved. Also, Sheamus in a SmackDown main event, just like the old days. Fair. Tenfoot says, you guys realise Alexa and Bianca are both faces? Yes, face versus face is very much something that does happen on the regular in WWE. Earlier on, for example, we had Ronda Rousey versus Raquel Rodriguez. Face versus face. Simon says, Hogan versus Flair, very possibly in 2022. Yeah, I don't want that. That'd be horrible. Just, you know, stop. Please, God. Please, God. Okay, so Money in the Bank starts at midnight my time. Thanks for the clarification, KJ. Midnight is a bit random. I get what he's saying. It's a bit random. You might suggest it's so random. But I don't think anyone would actually get what I was going for by saying that. I'm a nerd, what can I say? Megan says, probably because it's on July 4th. Probably don't want to mess with Peacock's patriotic programme for the day, I imagine. No clue what US TV is like for July 4th. All I know is there's lots of fireworks and barbecues. Fireworks and barbecues are fun, though. We have bonfire night. We celebrate people trying to kill politicians. We celebrate the day politicians nearly got murdered, whereas you celebrate killing the British and getting them out of your country. Fair, Megan. I will shut my mouth. And Dimitar says, Hogan will explode if he ever does a leg drop again. Yep. Thankfully he wouldn't, because Flair would not lose. If it's his only match back, that's why it won't be Hogan Flair, because both of them are determined to win, and it's not going to happen. Okay, is the match finally going to start? Has it already started? KJ says, I think Rampage started, 3 or 4 today? I know the UK folks were happy. Rampage is all over the place. All over the place. I do not ever know when it's going to start. Megan says, true, we do mark a failed royal assassination with bonfires and fireworks. That's our thing. That is our thing. So Shinsuke Nakamura and Matt Riddle versus the Usos will take place on Monday. They used the opening segment this week to book a match for Raw. Next week, Madcap Moss returns. Lukewarm pop. Kind of a pop. I'll take it. And we are still waiting for the actual match to start. Hector says, to think that pop for Drew is big tonight, I'm so excited to see his pop for Clash of the Castle. Do you think he will have an over-the-top entrance for the pay-per-view? Oh, absolutely he will. So the match will end up only being about 15 minutes. Butch and Xavier Woods are starting the match. I don't expect we're going to see a roll-up this time. I think it'll be Drew McIntyre basically beheading Sheamus is where we'll finish. Possible KJ will have to wait and see. Megan says, if Drew needs a pipe band to play him down to the ring at the Cardiff show, I may know a guy. Are you going to blow pipes for him, Megan? Are you the guy? Are you going to blow pipes for him? We are into our last 15 minutes of this week's WWE Smackdown. It's not great. What I have noted is that at no point have they mentioned how let down they were by Sasha Banks and Naomi. I suspect an agreement has been reached. Butcher with a bit of a fish hook there. Their new Drew. Their Drew Day. Ah, nailed it. Drew Day rocks. Tweeting it. I even hashtag it because I'm that kind of nerd. Drew Day rocks. I am such a nerd. Hello, person who has named themselves Liv Morgan. Megan says, no, the guy's my eldest brother. I've been in the pipe band world for pretty much my entire life. Multiple time former UK, Scottish and world champion drummer. Wow. That is an achievement list and a half. Drew will definitely be wanting someone. Rich Holland in now. Drew McIntyre just sort of hovering. Making sure everyone knows he's there. Holding the tag rope every now and then. That'll be the hot tag. But it won't be the hottest of tags. There'll be a lot more rotation. I kind of assumed you weren't the real Liv Morgan. I'm not worried about that, but welcome to the show. Wolfgamer said Nakamura and Riddle, odd pairing. It was booked to the beginning of this show. Keeps both of them in the conversation, and I think that's kind of important. Hector says it may be hard to determine, but do you think call-ups are mentioned in negotiations for NXT stars re-signing? Yes. Oh no, absolutely. When a wrestler is signing a new contract, they will always have a conversation about what their push is going to look like. They will always have that conversation. Cody Rhodes had that conversation about what his push is going to look like. Bobby Lashley had that conversation. That's how he got the match with Brock Lesnar, because he kept demanding it and eventually got it. With Pete Dunne, yeah, definitely. I think he definitely knew who he was being called up, definitely knew who he was being paired up with, but didn't know anything else. Tenfield says, hope Sasha doesn't sign a next 3-year contract if her contract soon be up. And well, WWE will want to bury her. If she signs a new deal, there will be no burial. If she doesn't, she will go out on her back, which is the right way to do it as a wrestler. Sean says, Robert Roode returned to a live event, lost to Veer, came out to glorious domination, didn't have Dolph with him. Possibly they split them up. Or possibly they're just using him as a face to get people like Veer over. I think that works. I'll take it. Pete Dunne has got a fat lip there. Fat lip there. Also, Drew McIntyre had to get the referee's attention so that the referee could stop him coming into the ring there. Bit awkward. Thank you very kindly, Morgan, for the subscription and the like. I very much appreciate it. Yeah, Wolfgamer, it was definitely set up. It was the first 20 minutes or so they pushed it. I thought we were going to go straight into the match, but it didn't happen. Megan says drumming is very much his thing. Older brother was also a drummer, but he had to retire due to a pretty bad shoulder injury. So drums were in the family. Nice. Frank says, I'm behind, obviously, the Raquel smile has got to go. It absolutely does. I mentioned that during the first match with Rousey. She looks trained for it. Someone has told her, you just got to smile. And she's taken it too much to heart. The grin is a little bit scary, a little bit menacing. I don't feel comfortable when it's happening. Just please stop. I get that one of the easiest ways to tell face and heel is, oh, this person's smiling, this person looks angry. But it's so forced. It is so obvious that it's just showing off the teeth. There is no smile in the eyes. I wonder if she's just nervous. I wonder if she's just very anxious. Frank absolutely says it's fake, and it absolutely is. For anyone who doesn't know, Frank Pettiani is one of my colleagues at PW Torch, works on the VIP section creating then and now, and also does, I believe you're on the AEW primers nowadays, Frank. I believe it's the AEW primers, which are always a good read. Frank does a lot more detail than you'd expect from a primer, and I really do enjoy them. I admit I haven't actually read them since he started doing the AEW ones, but I did read a lot of the WWE ones. Hector says, I've been holding off on watching the Kenobi show. Keep seeing ads for everywhere, and I can't ignore Ewan McGregor much longer. I agree and I respect it. Ewan McGregor, by the way, is my perfect Doctor from Doctor Who. Though I'm very happy with the Doctor we're getting. And I actually quite like the Doctor that we've just had. I mean, that may be me being insane, but Ewan McGregor is the Doctor. I can see it. Well, you know my answer, KJ, and you're absolutely right. I cannot predict if Sasha Banks will sign a new deal. Again, as you've intentionally spotted out yourself, I don't know her personally. I don't know enough about her to know what decision she would make, and I don't want to speculate on this sort of environment. Sean says, Nakamura on Raw. Can't remember when that happened last. Could be a first. He's been on Raw. I think it has been, actually, because Nakamura's always been a SmackDown guy. We're getting a hype package for Asuka, Becky and Bianca at Hell in a Cell, while an actual SmackDown match is currently ongoing. Megan says, I just realised I'll have Kenobi and the boys next weekend. Get in. As I say, I have another show to watch first. I'm not going to mention it in case people start spoiling it, but, sometimes, a thing just gets in the way, And it's something important, though. It's an important thing. Sean says, I think Ewan McGregor was in Birds of Prey as a DC villain Black Mask. Cool. I haven't actually seen Birds of Prey. I watched the first Suicide Squad. I need to watch the newest one. I want to watch... What's the superhero that's John Cena? Because that actually looks like great fun. I want to watch it. Hector says, David Tennant was my fave Doctor. His role on Jessica Jones was so good. I liked him for half of that show. Then they kind of neutered him. They brought it back, but... I don't know. I liked his character and then I didn't for a bit. KJ says... Nakamura was last on Raw during COVID when it was him and Cesaro randomly versus the Street Profits, title versus title. Another unification match, what can I say? Peacemaker. Thank you, Sean. Peacemaker. It is indeed. There's some things I always forget. Peacemaker looks like fun is all I'm trying to say. Mega says Shinsuke was last on Raw in September 2020. Team Cesaro faced Street Profits. Also appeared in 2019 in a Universal title Fatal 5-Way qualifier. As always, Stat Queen pulling that one through. Though KJ, you also gave me the info. KJ says, I'd like to see Sheamus work an indie match. I'd like to see him work pretty much anything. I think Sheamus is a great wrestler. I think he's one of those who's going to start to get the Randy Orton level of respect shortly. And I think he deserves it. Anyone I think is a great wrestler, though, in my head is like, oh, get him in a G1. Get him in a G1. I just love that G1. Get Sheamus against Toru Yano. Just make it happen. The match is ongoing. The heels are in the ascendancy. No sign of Drew McIntyre on the apron at the moment. But Kofi Kingston is fighting to survive. I do expect that Drew McIntyre will be getting the win here by kicking off someone's head. Hector. I believe the person you're referring to is also called that guy from Les Mis. Because when I took my sister to watch Les Mis, we gained a lot of respect for that guy from Les Mis. We didn't know his name at the time. We do now. His name is that guy from Les Mis, and we can't get over that. Also, I may have recently introduced an 8-year-old who has recently joined my family, as it were, to Les Mis, and she king loves it. It's a very proud moment for me. Very proud moment for the mum's boyfriend, as it were. I really liked Rogue One, Wolfgamer. More Rogue One is definitely in my wheelhouse. McIntyre has tagged in. He is raising some havoc. And Butch is on his shoulders with a sleeper. The referee's given up trying to stop it. Standard. Xavier Woods is going to eliminate Butch with a baseball slide. Lovely roll backwards there. They missed a brogue kick. They missed a brogue kick there. What the hell? I haven't seen Solo. Rogue One I knew I'd enjoy. Mostly because I'm familiar with the actress a little more. What can I say? Worst witch. Frank says Shayna Baszler is eerily defined down. Wow. Yeah, that was so confusing. They teased a Ronda-Shayna feud and then had Shayna lose. Just awkward. Drew McIntyre with the Claymore on Ridge Holland, but he's apparently not done yet. Hector says, it's still impressive when someone as big as Drew does a kip-up. Can't disagree with you there. The Charlotte kip-up is good. Drew kip-up is good. A kip-up in general is very impressive. Xavier Woods going for the finish. Going for his elbow drop on Ridge Holland. That should be all she wrote. So that was by the numbers in every possible way. I can't say that was anything special because I would be lying. Old Gamer says, what made me pop was seeing some Phase 2 clone troopers in the Andor trailer. And Megan says, I haven't actually seen all of Rogue One. I just know it has Mads Mikkelsen in it, which is good enough for me. I recommend giving it a proper full watch, Megan. I really enjoyed it. Bailey says, when was the last time New Day main evented? A while back. To be fair, they've been in this feud since February, so been a while. KJ says, the belly-to-belly with two big guys always scares me, but Drew may have the best belly-to-belly suplexes. And yes, the kip-up is great. I tried to do it, and it doesn't work. I've tried to do it in the past. Also doesn't work for me. I need to work on the abs. Is Drew going to do a shanky to end the show? KJ says, the crowd was better than the show, and no Roman. No Roman. No Sasha, no Naomi. Awkward. No Charlotte, of course. Okay, how much of this show is just about killing as much time as possible? Because that's where we are. Literally just killing as much time as humanly possible. It's awkward. It's just awkward. Drew's happy, what can I say? As long as Drew's happy, does it really even matter? Sean, Charlotte returns as a heel. Definitely stays heel. Megan says, these past couple of shows have felt like a test. How does the show go with no Roman, no Brandy, no Sasha, no Naomi, no Charlotte, and only a tiny bit of Ronda? Well, it goes badly. 4 tag matches. 4 tag matches. KJ says, things like this should happen more. The moments they have at live events would be good for TV. I don't mind it in isolation, like 1 or 2 things. But we had that with Shanky already. We already had that. It's nothing new, even just on the show we had. It was a bad show. It was a bad show, but it did offer a lot of opportunities for people who don't usually get them. Shanky got an opportunity to show some personality. Drew McIntyre got a big pop upon his return. We saw Los Lotharios feature again and pick up a win, which will help the actual tag division when it eventually works out. Shinsuke Nakamura got to have a good moment. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, genuinely a really fun bit. Genuinely great. So there were good moments. It wasn't a total bust. It certainly wasn't the worst show they've ever done. It just certainly wasn't the best either. I'm going to wrap it up there. It is 3 a.m. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please remember, we will not be doing a spoiler warning on Sunday night. I do have plans already, but we will be doing the gaming stream on the Colohue gaming side. The Go Live show has already been put onto that, so if you'd like to set a reminder, you can of course do so. I would very much appreciate the support. Until then, I just want to say a massive, massive thanks to everyone who's jumped in, who's chatted, who joined me here. You do make these shows much more bearable and much more fun. So I just want to say a massive thank you. I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic, and I'll see you all on Sunday.